Good day, YouTube. JD here. I am your Tuesday substitute host. Today's topic is orthopraxy versus orthodoxy. This topic is a very interesting topic for me because I feel like orthodoxy versus orthopraxy, or correct belief over correct practice, I feel like both of these things need to come one in one. I feel like there's something that in most any religion, pagan or otherwise, I feel like there should be some respect for both sides. I mean, just when you distill it down to make it as simple as possible, wouldn't you think that if you had the correct belief, that would mean that your actions were correct? In other words, taking a pagan practice into account. If you're going to be doing a ritual every single morning, such as greeting the sky or greeting the earth, or basically appreciating the moon's light as a representation of the goddess, you do that based off of your strong belief that that is the right thing to do for you. So to me, I feel like they are two sides of the same coin, or yin and yang. I feel like you can't have one without the other, without really distilling it and breaking it down. But I'll go ahead and read through the question really quickly. This question is a pretty complicated one because orthodoxy versus orthopraxy has raised a lot of strong feelings in a lot of different people from different religions. I am well aware that pagan traditions are more often than not focused on orthopraxis, not orthodoxy, meaning that the emphasis is on personal practice rather than having correct beliefs. However, while I know that this is to be fact, the concept is somewhat difficult. The concept is somewhat difficult for me to grasp. Having been raised in a religious tradition that emphasized proper belief above all else, do you have any advice on how a beginning practitioner might make that shift from orthodoxy to orthopraxis? I've been interested in paganism for several years since my belief system is essentially pagan in orientation. But I always end up in this cycle of leaving and returning to paganism because despite my pagan beliefs, I've always struggled with setting up any sort of pagan practice. Any advice would be much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so the way I see this, the way I understand it, is just basically it's someone who's basically new to the to the pagan path. And with the pagan path, there is a lot of freedom because there's so many different types of paganism out there, so many different types of belief that you can hold. Because you come from a background where you were kind of trained or taught to believe in right thought or right belief above all else, I would recommend just basically following one of the pagan paths that you can find that has a lot of books out there that kind of give you a step-by-step. I believe if you do that, you will probably be able to stick with your practice. There are a lot of great books out there that give you many different choices, many different steps, many different rituals, and I feel that if you follow those, it'll kind of go into the same vein that you've been kind of moving toward most of your life. I think that will work best for you. Kind of how I was saying before, I personally believe that there are two sides to the same coin. I was raised Christian Baptist, and being Christian Baptist, it was definitely for me more of a orthodoxy type of thing. It was basically you need to believe this, that, A, B, C, and D, and that's what you need to believe. However, there were a few things where you were told that you should act a certain way. Rituals were a bit different for me because my mom would actually bring over a few rituals, such as candle lighting from a Catholic church. When there were things that were happening with some of the members of my family that were pretty harsh that she was basically dealing with or having to cope with, she would oftentimes head to a big Catholic church in Washington, D.C., and she would light a candle and she would pray over that candle. So I was kind of moved toward orthopraxy without even knowing it. So that may be why I kind of have this idea that I feel like you can kind of go both ways, or they kind of both can work together. So I hope that kind of can clear the question up for you, at least getting my thoughts on the matter of orthodoxy versus orthopraxy, and what to do to keep yourself moving forward on your journey into paganism. Thanks for the question. Thanks for listening, and blessed be.